Hello everyone. Today is October 23rd, 2024, and I want to go through this symbolism with Trump working at the McDonald's, the Golden Arches in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, right? Bucks like money, the Golden Arches, right? He has his apron on, right? He's going to be dishing out some symbolism here, right? We got to look and read between the lines. And he's working at the Golden Arches, right? And this has to he's talking about in this whole thing that goes on here at McDonald's happens on Kamala Harris's birthday, and it's all about America. It's all about he's giving you the symbolism, and what he's trying to tell you is all about coming to America, right? And here's McDowell's literally from the movie Coming to America with Eddie Murphy. And right, this guy here, McDowell, right, he just passed away recently in the news, I think within the last month or so. But so I mean, this is all fresh stuff in our minds. But anyways, he's trying to tell us something here with this why he's working at McDonald's, right? He's serving the people. And if you don't know anything about the government, a republic, right? He's the Republican candidate. A Republican form of government is one where the people are the source of authority, and all the public officials, including the president, they serve the people. That's why he's serving, right? He's serving the people. He's at the drive-thru, and he's literally showing you the Republican form of government through symbolism. And he's in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, because he's talking about birth registration and birth certificates, because it's Kamala Harris's birthday on 10/20 when he did this. Okay, let's see, even at the end of the video here, someone mentions it's Kamala Harris's birthday. He says, "Happy birthday, Kamala," right? He's talking about the birth, because I think, I'm not 100% sure on this, but Pennsylvania might be the first state to enact a law requiring every child born within the state to be registered with the local registrar for birth registration. And when you register, you get the certificate. Okay, and to make a extremely long story short, that birth certificate, that ticket, that's the ticket to the republic, okay? That's what he's trying to show here. That birth certificate, that's why they're doing it on Kamala's birthday. And the Bucks, right, that birth certificate is if you can properly express your relationship to the person on that birth certificate, right, that'll get you back into the republic, right? Okay? Because people, right, we the people are the authority in a republic, and in a democracy, it's the majority rule, right? Mob rule versus private rights, where the people are the ultimate source of authority. But what's going on here, he's just showing you through this McDonald's deal that he's serving the people, right, on her birthday with the birth certificate. And in Pennsylvania, where they first started registering births, right, the founding of the United States of America, okay, and he's paying for everyone's food, right? He's got the money, right? He's got the money, and that birth certificate that you have, it is the evidence that you were born on the land, but it's an intermediary. It kind of got in the way of what you were supposed to do with it. People are using the birth certificate wrong, and when you express your relationship with the birth certificate to the government, then you enter back into the republic. Because people, if you look on your birth certificate, it has a first, middle, and last name. People have given names and surnames, and persons have first, middle, and last names, right? all your life, you've probably been acting in the capacity as a person, right? You've taken that birth certificate and you've got a driver's license, and you take it every time someone asks for that birth certificate for an identity, you're identifying as a person. And a person is not a people. They're two different things. People have given names and surnames, where persons have a first, middle, last, and you have to understand that there's a huge, massive difference, right? People have natural rights and persons have civil rights, right? So God-given rights versus state-given rights. So as long as you keep acting in the capacity of a person, the government gets to control your rights. But as long as if you act in the capacity of people, then the government becomes your servant, just like he's showing in this McDonald's video. And the government is actually paying, right? He's paying for all their food when he's going through the drive-thru, because the birth certificate is also a negotiable instrument. There's securities behind it, okay? And that's a whole nother thing, but that has to do with when you express to the government, to the right government officials, to the right public officials, who you are in relation to the certificate, right? Then they're going to treat you like an adult. And then there's a whole bunch of different things that go along with being treated like an adult, because you are not an adult. Even though you're over the age of 18, you're not an adult until you can express your relationship with that birth certificate. Okay? You are not the name on the birth certificate. That has nothing to do with you. Okay? And like I said before, I've mentioned in my videos that the birth certificate name gets assigned to the placenta, and the placenta in Latin is cake. Okay? And I just saw this commercial the other day on TV, and it just blew my mind, because they're showing you exactly what's going on here. Okay, so this is a NerdWallet commercial, and at the beginning of the commercial, this guy is acting like he's the CFO, he's the Chief Financial Officer, and as the commercial goes on, right, he says, I'm not really the Chief Financial Officer. He pulls off his hair, he's in a penthouse, and then he shows he's not even in a penthouse, he's in a stage. But at the end of the commercial, right, he's not even real. He says he's a robot and he's made of cake, right? He started out as the Chief Financial Officer, then he went down and he just ended up being cake, right? The placenta, right? And that's what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to run the business. That name on that birth certificate is a business for you to run. It's not you. As long as you act as that name, the government's going to run you like a business. Okay? Right? As long as you act as the name, you're the cake. You're not even real. You want to be here, the CFO. You don't want to be the robot cake guy. Okay? And that was perfectly shown in this NerdWallet commercial. And Trump is showing you the same thing with his McDonald's thing on Kamala Harris's birthday, right? The birth, I mean, they're just beating us over the head with this, okay? And let me tell you that what I'm telling you is legitimately what's going on, okay? I know that for a fact, okay? It's not as easy. It's not easy because you have to come to terms with, the fact that you've been kind of duped and tricked and, basically ripped off your whole life, and you didn't know what to do. Well, now is the time where everyone's kind of figuring this out and working towards, figuring out, first of all, who they are, right? Like I said, people have given names and surnames, right? That surname it's incorporeal, has nothing to do with you. You're a given name. Your mother and father gave you a name, and the family name or the house name is the surname, and it's incorporeal, which means no substance. So when you look at that birth certificate, it's combined with a given name with a surname, and it becomes a totally different thing, because as long as you're using that surname as an identity, you have no substance. Okay, that's a family name. It's a house name. It has nothing to do with you, your substance, your identity. And if you can come to terms with that and figure all this stuff out and apply it, then Trump is going to buy you some McDonald's. Okay, that's kind of what he's showing here. And now I'm going to go through this other stuff here. Like I mentioned, I was going to cover this Back to the Future stuff in my last video. And of course, in Back to the Future, Marty, he's in an audition, the We the People audition, right? You're auditioning to be one of We the People. And everyone's trying to figure this out because it's a big deal. Now I'm just going to go through this real quick, give you a quick preview of what I'm going to talk about in my Back to the Future video. But Marty's band in Back to the Future, they're called the Pinheads, right? And pinheads are mushrooms, right? And mushrooms are known for having psychedelic properties, and psychedelics activate the pineal gland, right? And the symbolism for a pineal gland is a pine cone. Go back here. There's our pinheads, right? Back to the Future is about the time machine, and the pineal gland is a photosensitive organ that serves as the human body's timekeeper, right? Photosensitive. The pineal gland is made of the same tissue as the retina of your eye, right? If I can find it here, right? And this goes back to the Bible, where if your eye is single, right? If your eye be single, let me find it here. Matthew 6:22, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. Right? The pineal gland is the pine cone, right? First time Marty goes to the mall, it's twin pine. When his eye becomes single, he goes back and saves Doc, right? Now this is the Phrygian cap, right? And it has to do with liberty. It's also called the Liberty cap. And in case you didn't know, one of the symbols of the Olympics, the 2024 Summer Olympics, the mascot was the Phrygies, was the Liberty cap, right? And then we have Donald Trump serving French fries, right? He's serving French fries. And this is also something interesting I want to show you here. There's a French maxim of law. By the way, almost all maxims, and they're talking about maxims of law, are Latin. But I did spot two in French. One is droit ne peut pas mourir. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right at all, but it means right cannot die. Right? And they show us this over and over again, like that. Your right to essentially be free, or your right to freedom, it cannot die. And this is shown to us over and over again in like Groundhog Day, Free Guy, and the movie Boss Level, right? Like, he screws up every day and he dies. He screws up every day and he dies. Same with the Free Guy. Every day he wakes up and he has another go at it. Same with Boss Level. And they go and go and go and go until they get it right, right? The right cannot die, right? So when he finally figures out what's going on, at the end of the movie, right? Each of these movies finally figures out what he needs to do, right? And then he's free. He gets back to where he needs to be, right? But that's a French maxim. And the Phrygian cap is a symbol of the Magna Carta. And the Magna Carta was used as not necessarily a template, but the Constitution borrowed a lot of the concepts from the Magna Carta. And the Magna Carta is all about the Phrygian cap, the Liberty cap, right? And if you read a little bit about the Liberty cap, kind of has to do with psychedelics, right? And activating that pineal, right? The mushroom cloud, right? That thing in your brain, that thing in your head, it looks like a cloud. It's a brain. That's why they're the pinheads, right? Talking about liberty, we the people. Okay, guys, I'll go more through the Back to the Future stuff. Hopefully shortly here, but just so you know, they're talking about your brain. They're talking about being we the people, right? You're getting back to reality, right? And what happens in Back to the Future? When he goes back in the past and he fixes everything, right? There, third eye, right? The third eye, the pineal gland, the single eye. When he goes back and fixes everything, right? When he gets back to the future, back to the present day, right? Everything's worked out. Like his parents are well-to-do. He's got a nice car, right? Everything's kind of all fixed. There's Doc with the mushroom cap on. Anyways, that's what's going on here. There's a lot going on with this McDonald's thing, right? They're showing you something. Bucks County, Pennsylvania, all about the birth registration. Kamala Harris on her birthday. You know, let me tell you, I have direct experience. Yeah, so that's what they're trying to show you here. All this stuff. He's beating you on the head about coming back to America. Right? Coming to America, right? You don't want to live, in a democracy. There's absolutely nothing about a democracy in the Constitution, right? Nothing about a democracy that has anything to do with private rights of people. Democracy is mob rule, okay? And you've all seen that, I'm sure you've all seen that, news clip where they're, all the news stations across the whole country, all the news people are saying, a threat to our democracy, a threat to our democracy. Well, yeah, the Republican form of government is a threat to our democracy because it would reintroduce private rights where the public officials actually have to serve you, right? So huge ritual. I wouldn't say ritual, but they're just showing us. They're trying to tell us what to do. Trump knows what's going on, and he knows that a lot of people know what's going on and that people are picking up the symbolism and all this stuff, but that's what's going on. Just had to show you guys that. We'll get more into the Back to the Future thing in a whole separate thing with Mercury and the time machine and everything else here, but that ticket that you're holding, that's your ticket to the Republic, right? It's the only thing standing in the way between you and, getting back to America. And, and it doesn't necessarily mean, America, because that other countries have birth certificates. It just means it's standing in the, as long as you're identifying as that person, as that creation of a birth certificate, you're not going to be recognized as a people. You're going to be a person, and your rights are going to be, controlled. Right? You're going to be controlled. You're gonna have to serve those public officials. And then when you can figure out how to express your relationship to that certificate, then you can come back to being a people, being a man or a woman, right? Okay, well, like I said, I'll get my other stuff ready here for the Back to the Future video, and I got a few other things to talk about with you that has to do with that, and this stuff with the pineal gland. It's super controversial, and I know that because a lot of people say you should run from it or it's whatever, but it's not. There's nothing nothing bad about knowing how your brain really works, okay? That pineal gland drops the veil on the right side of your brain, okay? It drops the wall and allows you to access the right hemisphere of your brain, okay? And let me tell you, it does so in a spectacular fashion, okay? Right? Fear thou not, I am with thee. Right? I will strengthen thee. I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Look at all the times in the Bible that they're talking about the right side of the temple, the right hand, the right, dropping the walls, the walls of Jericho fall. Once you can figure out what they're really trying to tell you, you're going to gain, a new respect for, life, for truth. And, it's not easy. It's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Everyone would understand. It's not easy, but at least the first part of figuring out all this stuff is to know that you're not this birth certificate person. You're a people. You're a given name with a family surname or a house name, right? That's the first step, is knowing who you are first, okay? And if you notice at the beginning of this video, Trump is calling, he's calling these people by their first name. He's being super nice. So this whole thing is just, they're trying to tell you what's going on. They're actually trying to help us out, but they're not going to come right out and say it. So you have to dig a little deeper. You got to go a couple layers deeper, and take it upon yourself to figure this stuff out. So, okay, guys, thanks for watching.